How does the tree of life help us take the hero's journey? All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Thomas, and welcome to my channel. I create and distribute educational products such as books and videos, courses, and other materials, audiobooks. So if you learn something from my videos, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I specialize in Tree of Life, which is this thing right here. You may recognize it as the Hebrew Kabbalah. This is the earlier version, the ancient Egyptian Tree of Life, whose origins are murky and obscure, but the Egyptians have claimed credit for it. It's got 10 spheres. This is number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. There's an abyss here with a dotted circle around it. 3, 2, 1, and 0 for a total of 12 different, what you would call faculties of consciousness. You can think about it in other ways too, but that's how I usually think about it, as our 12 faculties of consciousness. And then I have expanded that model into another dimension, 12 by 12, so 144 different categories, which are fractal faculties that represent the stages of life, or the stages of life, history, spirituality, and cosmology. And if you think about the stages, not really like chronological stages, but we're talking about dramatic stages. So stages that a different drama or different act is taking place. And that's what I call the MASSTree. So if you want me to send you a free copy of the 144 stages of the MASSTree annotated, I'll be happy to do that if you click the link below. And otherwise, we're presenting a series of these videos on the Tree of Life to demonstrate its power and flexibility and its capabilities. It is literally a miracle. It's an amazing model that can be used for navigation in the realm of consciousness. And I discovered the tree maybe 25 years ago, and it has really, really helped me in my life. And so that's why I'm on here trying to share it and trying to get it out there, because I think it's a really great thing, but it's kind of been cast in a negative light because there's some evil people that use it. And, you know, it's a technology. It can be used for good or for evil. And the more good people that learn how to use it, they can neutralize the evil people then. And they can defend themselves from the evil people. So that's why we want to spread far and wide the proper uses of the Tree of Life. Okay, let's get back to this question for today. How does the Tree of Life help us to take the hero's journey? The hero's journey is a path of finding ourselves and recognizing we must veer from the well-traveled path of the lower spheres of the tree. The hero's journey picks up as we realize and declare, even if in secret, our mission. It is instructive to look at the ancient Egyptian Tree of Life and its iconography to kind of break down what the hero's path is. Now, the relevant spheres here are really 7, 6, and 5. Now, in the Egyptian, each one of these spheres has been given a name, similar to the Hebrew. You know, in Hebrew, this is called Yod. In the Egyptian, it's called Oset. Here, this is Hod, and in the Egyptian, it's called Sebek. Now here, we got 7, 6, and 5. These all represent what is the hero's journey. And in the Egyptian, hero is Heru, Heru, Heru. So 7 is called Het Heru. This is the house of Heru. This is all otherwise maybe known as gonads. Then we have here, which is just called Heru, the hero. And then here at the 5th sphere, we have what's called Heru Kahudi. Okay, so we got Het Heru, house of Heru, Heru, and Hera Kahudi. Hera Kahudi means Heru of 2 horizons. And what that means is Heru from sunup to sundown, so all day long. Here at the 6th sphere, the Heru is really for a special occasion. You know, you think of this as also like kind of like an event that that scares you, causes you to bring out something a little extra that you know, are not used to. So this is like if you're public speaking, if you're performing in front of other people, you have to do something in real time that you've never done before. That is in real time. That, you know, you can't just rehash things. You have to be on your game and paying high attention. But Hera Kahudi here at the 5th sphere is where you're doing that like all day long, you know, all day, every day. So that's kind of how the Egyptians look at it. A little bit later, we'll probably look at some of the other iconography, or at least one of the forms of iconography from the Egyptian. But so there we got 7th sphere, house of Heru, gonads, or growing a pair. And in the MASSTree, the 144 different stages, one of them here is number 45, ablutions. Stage 45, ablutions, things that we need to give up, cold turkey preferably, in order to pursue our journey. A lot of times we have different conditionings, addictions, attachments that we have to let go before we can take that journey. The 6th sphere, Heru, the hero, we must face our fears at different junctures. Stage number 54, for example, is called Take the Plunge. It means you got to jump in or dive into the water or to the fire, and you don't know what's really going to happen. And you know, things are moving fast, and you got to pay a high level of attention, and you want to do anything that you possibly can to avoid it. But when it actually happens and you face your fear, regardless of whether it goes well or not, you feel great about it. You're happy that you stood up and you did it, because a lot of times we think that fear is a paralyzer, that if we're afraid of something, that means we can't do it. But here at the Take the Plunge, number 54, we demonstrate that we can stand in the face of fear and act in spite. We're not paralyzed by fear. And then we move up to the 5th sphere at Hera Kahudi. We have like number 65 here, for example, that is called Step into Struggle. So this is the counterpart to Take the Plunge. Instead of having to take the plunge and just, you know, hold our nose and jump in, we just step in, because we're so used to it that we can just step into it, because we know that we know that we've basically made peace with our fear, or even made friends with our fear. And so, you know, it's a normal part of our day to step into it. We don't have to make it so dramatic. Just step right in. So on the hero's journey, you know, we still have to do the work ourselves, you know, but the tree of life really helps us with our confidence and our orientation. So we know what's coming, we know what to prepare for, we know what we need to do, we know what success looks like, we know when we haven't done it. So the tree is there to guide us along especially since the hero's journey has us, treading on unfamiliar pathways. So to take the journey, as you can see, we must raise our game. There are additional requirements, additional responsibilities imposed on ourselves. So, for example, at the sixth sphere, we've got number 49, everyday voluntary physical exertion. Exertion is going to be required as we move along the path, not specifically just, to stay in shape, although that's part of it, and to, look good, look like you're fit or whatever. It's really about grounding ourselves, because on this path, it's dangerous. People succumb all the time to mental illnesses. Being on a lonely path, a lot of times people are naysaying against you, and so you have to have something to ground you on a daily basis to keep you moving forward, but to keep your head from going into the clouds. So we got everyday voluntary physical exertion. Number 63, which is on the fifth sphere, conquest of violence. So we have to really look at the different activities that we participate in and figure out what the violent or violative or wasteful aspects of our behavior is, and be able to cut those things out. Again, we see here the iconography really on the fifth and sixth sphere of the tree. A lot of the iconography you see in the Egyptian is Heru or Herakahuti. They're both hawks, and they're carrying swords or sharp metal blades. And, also in the fifth sphere iconography, we're talking about Mars, the god of war. But in the Egyptian, at least the way I've learned it, the god of war is not, the way we normally think about the god of war, but really about the god of ending wars. And the blades are being used not to slay another person, but to slay our enemies, which are our conditionings and our attachments. So we use the blades of Herakahuti to cut our attachments. That is where the god of war comes in. Okay, so another stage here is number 64. This is on the fifth sphere, thrill of the chase, acting out of principle and not expedience. So, at times we need to do things just out of the principle of it, even though it seems crazy, even though it doesn't bring us any specific results, but the principle of the thing is what is the determining factor for us trying to act out of truth, to do it just because it's the right thing to do. Again, we have to take this hero's journey ourselves. We have to make the sacrifices. We have to do the work. But the tree provides us the way and the roadmap to take it. We're still going to have to take our lumps, but the tree will help us be ready for those lumps and to use them to our benefit. Also here we've got on the sixth sphere, everyday meditation practices, or what I call inner size, as opposed to exercise. And then we also have on the fifth sphere, bedroom arts, our ability to harness our dreams and our sexual energy for the hero's journey. A lot of those energies are wasted, and so we developed certain techniques and practices to help us to harness those powerful sources of energy. Again, on the sixth sphere, we've got vigilance over thought, so that negative thoughts such as doubt and fear don't creep in into our thought patterns, or that we actually eliminate them from our thought patterns because they're already there. And then again at the sixth sphere, we got roll the hexahedra. And that's for divine guidance, properly interpreted. This has to do with divination, asking our deepest, higher self what the proper course of action, and then following it. When we are ambivalent, when we're having difficulty making decisions. Then to get into a little more detail, the transition from the sixth to the fifth sphere, the hero gets the shaft and is banished from normal society to become the anti-hero in a small subculture on the fifth sphere. You can see this as the pyramid. There's the base of the pyramid, and here is the apex of the pyramid. But really, the pyramid is actually an octahedron, meaning it's got this is the apex, but it's also the nadir. So it's a pyramid, but it goes down, it goes up as well as down. And so when you get to the top of the pyramid here at the sixth sphere, all of a sudden you find yourself on a shaft and you end up going all the way down to the bottom. And so you've got to climb up again. The path from the seventh to the sixth sphere is an uphill path. But then you get the shaft and you find yourself on the bottom again. And so the path from the sixth to the fifth sphere is also uphill. So you think you've gotten to the top of the mountain, but then you recognize that you're only halfway there. So, that's another part of the hero's journey that is very good to be aware of, so that you know it's coming, because it can be terribly demoralizing if you think that you've finished the trip and you realize that you're actually only halfway there. So there are many other relevant stages here on the tree that relate to the hero's journey. But I think that is enough to get started with. I hope you can see how the tree, and especially the MASSTree, the second dimension, gives us valuable guidance as we embark upon the hero's journey. Again, if you would like to get a free copy of my guide to the 144 fractal faculties, phases, or stages of life, spirituality, history, and cosmology annotated, just click the link below and I'll send it to you. Please like, share, and subscribe, and look out for more videos coming from me having to do with the Tree of Life. Thank you.